Hi, friends. Have you ever read through the Old Testament and then scratched your head wondering what it all meant? Well, it's important for Christians to read the Old Testament in the light of the New Covenant so that we can understand what it all means. In this series, I'm attempting to help you see how these two testaments or covenants link together. Today, we're going to look at Genesis chapters 18 to 20, where we read the continuing saga of Abraham now and Sarah, who are still waiting for God's promise to be fulfilled. In Genesis chapter 18, verses 13 to 15, the Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh? Why did she say, 'Can an old woman like me have a baby?' Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return about this time next year, and Sarah will have a son." Sarah was afraid, so she denied it, saying, "I didn't laugh." But the Lord said, "No, you did laugh." This is such a cute story. And the moral of it is, don't argue with God. He always has the last word, and he will do what he said he will do. He guarantees it with his own reputation. We are like this with God, aren't we? He doesn't take counseling or direction from anyone. If he did, then he wouldn't be the supreme king of the universe. He is not just a king. He's the King of Kings. What's interesting is what God does with his last word. Psalm 115 verse 3 says, "Our God is in the heavens and he does as he wishes." What does God, who does whatever he wishes, do? He blesses people. God was trying to bless Sarah with a long-desired son, and she was laughing at him. God is often trying to bless us while we are yet arguing or telling him why it can't be done. At the end of it all, God will have the last word, and he will do what he said he will do, even if you don't see the possibility. Stop and ask yourself, is anything too hard for the Lord? In Romans chapter 4, some behind-the-scenes information is given. In verses 1, 3, and 16, it says, Abraham was, humanly speaking, the founder of our Jewish nation. What did he discover about being made right with God? Abraham believed God, and God counted him as righteous because of his faith. So the promise is received by faith. It is given as a free gift, and we are all certain to receive it, whether or not we live according to the law of Moses, if we have faith like Abraham's. For Abraham is the father of all who believe. Remember from Genesis 15, chapter 6, which said, Abram believed the Lord, and the Lord counted him as righteous because of his faith. Abraham is a type and shadow of all kingdom people as the father of our faith. What was the single most important ingredient in Abraham's life that made him the father of all who believe? The Jews thought the answer to this question was twofold. One, being born of Abraham's seed, natural seed that is, and two, being circumcised. Even if a person was not a natural seed of Abraham, under the Mosaic law, a person could become a Jew if they were circumcised and obeyed the law. But in Christ, those two fulfillment or requirements have been fulfilled. No longer do we follow the law of Moses. We follow the law of Christ. No longer do we circumcise our bodies. We circumcise our heart. There is nothing more complicated than to put our faith in God, just like Abraham. In Hebrews 11, 1-2, the Amplified says, "Now faith is the assurance, the title deed confirmation of things hoped for, divinely guaranteed, and the evidence of things not seen, the conviction of their reality. Faith comprehends as fact what cannot be experienced by the physical senses. For by this kind of faith, the men of old gained divine approval. Well, that's all for today. For further study, I've put some scriptures for you in the description of this video. Until next time, I'll be praying for you to receive revelation about your covenant with God that you achieve through faith. Have a blessed week.